Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in life when you look in the mirror and admit something most people are too afraid to say out loud. I am unhappy with reality. That is the moment of truth. That is the moment when you either accept the life handed to you or you rise up and build the life you were meant to live. Too many people spend their lives waiting, hoping, dreaming, but never acting, and that's why their reality never changes. But I'm here to tell you that you have the power to rewrite your story, to change your trajectory, to break free from the limits the world has placed on you. The only question is, will you step up or will you stay the same? When I was younger, I looked around and realized something very important. I was unhappy with reality. The world around me didn't look like the world I wanted to live in. People settled for average. People accepted the limits that others placed on them, and they lived lives that were comfortable but not extraordinary. And I knew deep inside that if I accepted this reality, then I would end up just like everyone else, stuck in a path that someone else had paved for me. That was not what I wanted. I wanted to change the trajectory of my life. I wanted to rewrite the story, and that began with a simple decision. I was not going to accept reality as it was. I was going to create my own. The first step to changing your trajectory is to stop lying to yourself about your situation. Too many people say, I'm fine, when they are not fine. They say, it's okay, when deep inside they know it's not okay. If you are not where you want to be, you have to admit it. I admitted it to myself. I said, I don't like this. I want something bigger. I want something different. That honesty is the beginning of transformation, because when you are brutally honest with yourself, you stop making excuses and you start making a plan. When I wanted to change my life, I had to picture the future I wanted. I saw it clearly in my mind, like a movie that played over and over again. I didn't just imagine it. I obsessed over it. I saw myself stronger, more successful, standing on stages, being recognized, inspiring people. That vision gave me energy. It gave me the power to wake up earlier, to push harder, to keep going when I was tired. The truth is, you cannot change your trajectory unless you know where you want to go. It's like trying to drive without a destination. You'll just keep going in circles. You need a clear, vivid picture of the life you want. The second thing I did was commit. I don't mean half-hearted commitment. I mean the kind where you burn the bridges behind you. I told myself there is no plan B. Plan B means you are preparing to fail. Plan B means you're giving yourself permission to quit. And if you give yourself that permission, you will take it the moment things get tough. When I decided to change my life, there was no fallback. It was all or nothing. That's the kind of commitment you need to change your trajectory. And let me tell you something. The world will not make it easy for you. People will laugh at you. They will say you are crazy. They will say you are wasting your time. They will call you unrealistic. But remember, every person who ever changed their life, every person who ever achieved greatness was called unrealistic before they proved everyone wrong. Reality is built by people who refuse to accept it as it was. So when you face doubt and criticism, don't let it shake you. Let it fuel you. Let it remind you that you are on a path most people are too afraid to take. Changing your trajectory also means changing your habits. Every single day matters. Too many people think success is about one big opportunity, one lucky break. No, it's about the grind, the repetition, the consistency. If you want to change your life, you have to change what you do every day. What time you wake up, how you use your free time, what you put into your body, what you put into your mind. I built my body one workout at a time, one repetition at a time. I built my career one role at a time. I built my future one decision at a time. Every choice you make either takes you closer to your vision or further away. You cannot surround yourself with negativity and expect a positive outcome. When I wanted to change my life, I had to separate myself from people who were satisfied with being average. Not because I didn't love them, but because their mindset was dangerous for my goals. If you want to fly, you cannot spend your life around people who are crawling. You need to find people who inspire you, who challenge you, who force you to rise higher. If your environment doesn't push you forward, it will hold you back. Now here is something many people don't understand. When you set out to change your trajectory, you will fail along the way. You will make mistakes. You will fall on your face. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Every mistake teaches you something. Every setback builds your strength. When I faced rejection, when I heard no, I used it as motivation. I didn't run from failure. I used it as fuel. You cannot let fear of failure stop you, because the truth is, if you never fail, it means you're not aiming high enough. Another thing that will change your trajectory is discipline. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline stays. Motivation is about feeling. Discipline is about doing. There were days when I didn't feel like training, days when I didn't feel like working, but discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline shows up no matter what. That's the secret that separates those who dream from those who achieve. You want to change your life? Build discipline like a muscle. Train yourself to keep going even you don't feel like it. That's how you build unstoppable momentum. And let's talk about contribution, because changing your trajectory is not just about success for yourself. True transformation happens when you use your journey to lift others up. When I achieved my goals, I realized the greatest satisfaction came from helping others see that they could do it too. When you live only for yourself, your vision is small. But when you connect your goals to something bigger, your family, your community, the people who look up to you, you find a deeper purpose that gives you unshakable strength. So many people stay stuck because they believe their past defines them. They think their mistakes, their failures, their hardships are a prison. But the truth is, your past is not a chain, it's a lesson. I looked at my struggles, my disappointments, and I asked, what can I learn? How can I use this to build myself stronger? When you change the way you see your past, you change the way you shape your future. Your past is fuel. Your past is proof that you can overcome. And if you've made it this far, you already have what it takes to go further. Every time you think about quitting, every time you think the road is too hard, remind yourself of this. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. Imagine yourself 10 years from now, looking back at this moment. Will you be proud that you kept going, or will you be haunted by the fact that you gave up? That choice is in your hands right now. The truth is, you don't need anyone's permission to change your life. You don't need anyone to tell you it's possible. The power is already inside you. You just have to decide, commit, and take action every single day. Stop waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. The time is now. When I was unhappy with reality, I had two options: accept it or fight. To change it, I chose to fight. I chose to create a new reality, one rep at a time, one risk at a time, one dream at a time. And if I could do it, if I could change the trajectory of my life, then so can you. When I could finally see that the trajectory of my life was in my own hands, I realized that the real battle wasn't out there, it was inside of me. The fight was with my own doubts, my own fears, my own limitations. I understood that if I could conquer myself, if I could master my own mind, then there was nothing in the outside world that could stop me. Every barrier was only temporary, every obstacle was only a test, and every setback was just another opportunity to rise stronger. The decision to change your life isn't something you make once. It's a decision you must make again and again every single day. When I woke up in the mornings, there were days when my body screamed to stay in bed, but I had taught myself that my feelings don't decide my future. My actions do. So I got up, I trained, I worked, and with every repetition, with every hour of sweat, I was rewriting my future. You have to see it this way. Every single small action, even the ones that seem insignificant, is like a brick you're laying down. And one day you look up and those bricks have built the life you dreamed about. But most people never get there because they stop laying bricks when it feels hard. They stop when it doesn't give them instant results. The trajectory of your life is built slowly, but it is built with power. And this is something very important. You cannot let your environment decide who you become. Too many people think they are trapped because of where they started. They look at their circumstances, their family, their neighborhood, their resources, and they say, this is my limit. But that is only reality if you accept it. I came from a place where the opportunities were small, but my vision was bigger than the walls around me. If your environment is small, you must think bigger. If your environment is negative, you must rise above it. Your circumstances may shape your starting point, but they do not decide your finish line. There is also something about hunger that people don't understand. Hunger is not about food. It is about desire. It is about the fire in your belly that says, I will not stop until I get there. When you are hungry for something, you will go further than others are willing to go. You will train longer. You will work harder. You will sacrifice more, because nothing satisfies you except progress. Hunger is what pushes you when talent alone is not enough. Hunger is what carries you when luck runs out. And if you don't feel that hunger, you must create it. You must remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself of the life you don't want to go back to. Remind yourself of the life you are chasing. And as you climb, something interesting happens. The higher you go, the thinner the air becomes. It means fewer people are there with you. At the bottom, it is crowded because that's where everyone stays. At the middle, it's still busy because many start but don't finish. But at the top, it is quiet because only a few were willing to endure the struggle, the discipline, the loneliness, and the sacrifice. And when you get there, you will look down and realize that the climb was worth every moment. Because when you change the trajectory of your life, you are not just moving forward, you are lifting yourself into a place most people never get to see. But let me be honest with you, the climb is not glamorous. Social media shows you the highlight reel, the shiny moments, the trophies, the applause. What they don't show you is the nights when you are alone, when no one believes in you, when you are questioning yourself, when you are broke, when you are tired, when you feel like quitting. That's the real journey. That's where champions are made. No, not in the spotlight, but in the shadows, when no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when it's just you and the grind. That is when you decide who you are going to become. When I wanted to create a new reality, I had to learn patience. I had to remind myself that nothing great happens overnight. We live in a world that is addicted to instant gratification. People want results now. They want success now. But greatness doesn't work that way. It takes years of unseen work. It takes thousands of hours of practice, repetition, failure, learning, adapting. The people who make it are not the ones who got lucky. They are the ones who stayed patient when everyone else gave up. You want to change the trajectory of your life? You must be willing to play the long game. And while you are chasing your vision, don't forget about gratitude. Gratitude is what keeps you grounded. Gratitude reminds you of how far you've already come, even when you are still chasing something bigger. Gratitude turns every obstacle into a blessing, every struggle into a lesson. When I was struggling, I still found reasons to be thankful. Thankful for the opportunity to fight, thankful for the chance to grow, thankful for every breath that allowed me to keep pushing forward. Gratitude doesn't mean you are satisfied. It means you are strong enough to see progress even in the struggle. Another truth is this: success is not a straight line. You will go up and down. Sometimes you will move forward 3 steps, then fall back 2. But as long as you keep moving, as long as you keep pushing, you are still making progress. Most people quit during the setbacks. They think a step backward means they are failing, but it doesn't. It only means you are learning. It only means the path is testing you. Every time life knocks you back, stand up again, stronger, smarter, and more determined. That is how you create unstoppable momentum. And while you're building your future, remember that comparison is a trap. Too many people look at others and measure their journey against someone else's highlight reel. That will only steal your joy and your focus. You are not in competition with anyone except the person you were yesterday. If you are better than you were yesterday, if you have grown even 1 inch, then you are winning. Forget what others are doing. Stay locked in on your vision. Your journey is your own, and it doesn't need to look like anyone else's. Discipline, hunger, vision, these things will change your life. But there is something else that will keep you going when all else fails. Purpose. Without purpose, success feels empty. Without purpose, achievement feels hollow. When you tie your goals to something bigger than yourself, when you know that your fight will inspire others, when you realize that your journey gives hope to people who are watching, you find a level of strength that cannot be broken. Purpose gives you the fuel to go beyond what you thought was possible. Purpose turns your struggles into meaning. Purpose transforms your victories into something that lasts beyond your own lifetime. And as you keep moving forward, you will notice that the world starts to change around you. People who once doubted you will start to respect you. People who once laughed at you will start to ask you for advice. People who never believed in you will say they knew you could do it. But the most important thing is not their recognition. It's the fact that you believed in yourself before anyone else did. That belief is the foundation of everything. Without it, nothing works. With it, everything is possible. The reality I was born into was not the reality I wanted, but instead of accepting it, I decided to rewrite it. I decided that I would not let my circumstances define me, that I would not let other people's opinions control me, that I would not let failure stop me. And every single day I made the choices, I did the work, I took the risks, and I built a new path. That is how you change the trajectory of your life. When you decide to change the trajectory of your life, you begin to understand that comfort is the enemy of growth. Comfort is where dreams go to die. If you are comfortable, you are not stretching, you are not testing your limits, you are not discovering what you are capable of. Growth only happens in discomfort. When you put yourself in situations that challenge you, that scare you, that demand more than you think you have. I learned that every time I stepped out of my comfort zone, I found a new level of strength inside of me. Every time I pushed past fear, the fear became smaller. And every time I embraced the struggle transformed me. You cannot change your life if you keep living the same day over and over again. So many people are stuck because they are addicted to routine that doesn't serve them. They go to the same job they hate. They spend time with the same people who drain them. They repeat the same habits that keep them in place. And then they wonder why nothing changes. If you want to change your trajectory, you must break the cycle. You must be willing to reinvent yourself. Reinvention is not easy. It means letting go of who you were, and that can feel uncomfortable, even painful. But the only way to become the person you are meant to be is to stop clinging to the person you used to be. There were moments when I had to face the truth that I was not yet the person who could live the life I envisioned. That was hard to admit, but it gave me clarity because it meant I had work to do. I had to build myself into the person who deserved that future. I had to develop new skills, new habits, new levels of discipline. I had to become stronger mentally, emotionally, and physically. Many people want the rewards of a new life without the responsibility of becoming a new person. But the universe does not work that way. The life you want is waiting for you, but you must grow into it. And as you grow, you will notice resistance, not just from the outside world, but from inside yourself. The mind is powerful, but it also tries to protect you by keeping you safe in the familiar. It whispers, don't take risks, don't step out, don't change too much. That inner voice of doubt is the biggest enemy of transformation. I learned to silence that voice with action. Every time doubt told me I couldn't, I did it anyway. Every time fear told me I wasn't ready, I took the step. And with every action, I weakened that inner resistance. Action is the antidote to fear. Action is the proof that you are stronger than your excuses. The truth is, you will not always feel ready. People wait for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect level of confidence before they start, but that moment never comes. Readiness is created through doing. You become ready by starting. You build confidence by acting, by failing, by learning, by trying again. If you wait until you feel ready, you will wait your whole life. You must leap and trust that you will build your wings on the way down. And while you are leaping, you must learn resilience. Resilience is the ability to take the hit and keep moving. Life will not hand you success. It will hand you challenges, heartbreaks, losses, and disappointments. But resilience transforms pain into power. I faced times when I felt like I had given everything, and still it wasn't enough. But those were the moments that built the deepest strength in me. Resilience is not about never falling. It is about always rising. It is about saying, I may bend, but I will not break. That kind of mindset makes you unstoppable. And you must learn to take responsibility. Too many people blame their circumstances, their past, their environment, their parents, their boss, their government, their luck. Blame see you stuck. Responsibility sets you free. When I accepted full responsibility for my life, I took back my power. Because if it's always someone else's fault, then you are powerless to change it. But if it is your responsibility, then you have control. You can act, you can adjust, you can overcome. Responsibility is not a burden. It is freedom. It means your future is in your hands. The road to changing your life is not only about what you add. It's also about what you let go of. You must let go of old beliefs that no longer serve you. You must let go of toxic people who keep you chained to mediocrity. You must let go of habits that sabotage your potential. Letting go is difficult, but it creates space for new growth. Imagine holding a fistful of rocks. You cannot pick up gold unless you release the rocks first. In the same way, you cannot hold on to old baggage and expect to grasp a new destiny. Sacrifice is another word that people misunderstand. They think sacrifice means loss, but it really means exchange. You are not losing when you give up temporary pleasures for long-term success. You are trading something small for something great. I sacrificed comfort. I sacrificed nights out. I sacrificed immediate rewards because I was building something bigger. Sacrifice is proof of your commitment. If you are not willing to sacrifice, then you are not serious about changing your trajectory. And don't forget the power of consistency. Consistency is what turns turns ordinary into extraordinary. Anyone can be motivated for a day, anyone can work hard for a week, but the person who shows up day after day, year after year, that is the person who wins. Success is not about intensity, it is about consistency. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be persistent. A little progress every day adds up to massive transformation over time. When you pursue a new future, you will face loneliness. The path to greatness is often walked alone because few are willing to go that far. Loneliness is not a punishment. It is a sign that you are separating yourself from the crowd. I spent many nights by myself, focused on the grind while others were out having fun. But that loneliness was not empty. It was filled with purpose. Learn to embrace solitude. Solitude gives you clarity, focus, and the strength to keep moving even without applause. One of the most powerful lessons I learned is that identity creates destiny. If you see yourself as weak, you will act weak. If you see yourself as average, you will live average. But if you begin to see yourself as strong, as capable, as unstoppable, then your actions will align with that identity. You must decide who you are before the world decides it for you. Every time I visualized myself as a champion, as a leader, as a builder, I began to act like one. And those actions eventually created that reality. Who you believe you are shapes everything. As your life begins to change, you will encounter new opportunities. But here is the truth. Opportunities are not gifts, they are responsibilities. When the door opens, you must be ready to walk through it with courage. Too many people let fear make them hesitate, and the opportunity disappears. You cannot hesitate. You cannot second guess. When the chance comes, you grab it with both hands, even if you feel unprepared. Because opportunities are rare and they don't wait for you to feel comfortable. They reward the bold. And as you keep rising, you will discover something greater than success. You will discover fulfillment. Success is about achieving for yourself, but fulfillment is about giving back, about using your story to inspire others, about helping people believe in their own potential. When you use your journey to show others what is possible, you are not just changing your trajectory, you are changing theirs. That is legacy, that is impact, that is the highest level of growth. So remember this, you are not stuck, you are not defined by your past. You are not limited by where you started. The power to change the trajectory of your life is already inside of you. It is waiting for you to decide, to act, to commit, to sacrifice, to persist, to rise. The path is not easy, but it is possible. And once you step onto it, once you refuse to go back, once you embrace the discomfort, the discipline, and the purpose, your life will transform in ways you cannot even imagine. When you step onto the path of transformation, you must understand that doubt will always follow you. Doubt doesn't vanish the moment you decide to change your life. In fact, it grows louder because it senses that you are trying to break free. It will whisper, what if you fail? What if you embarrass yourself? What if you're not good enough? And if you listen, if you give that voice too much attention, it will paralyze you. But when I felt that doubt creeping in, I answered it with action. I told myself I would rather fail chasing greatness than succeed at staying average. That mindset gave me freedom, because when you stop fearing failure, you start living with courage. The world is built by people who refuse to listen to doubt. Every invention, every breakthrough, every act of greatness was born from someone who ignored the voice that said, "It can't be done." When I looked around at the people who inspired me, I noticed they all shared one thing. They chose belief over doubt. Belief is a muscle, and like any muscle, you must train it. You build it by taking risks, by proving to yourself over and over again that you can survive setbacks, that you can endure pain, that you can keep going when it seems impossible. With each victory, no matter how small, your belief grows stronger and your trajectory rises higher. Changing your life also requires vision beyond yourself. Too often, people chase success just for personal gain, and when they get there, they feel empty. But when you connect, discipline also becomes even more important the further you go. Success doesn't get easier once you achieve it. In fact, it requires more from you to maintain and grow it. Discipline is what keeps you grounded when the distractions of success try to pull you away. I had to remind myself constantly that the same habits that got me to the top were the same habits I had to keep if I wanted to stay there. Too many people achieve a little success and then relax, thinking they've made it. That is when they start to fall. Discipline is not just the path to success, it is the anchor that keeps you there. There is also a truth about sacrifice that most people don't realize. It doesn't end when you reach your first goal. Sacrifice continues. I had to give up things I enjoyed. I had to make tough decisions. I had to say no when I wanted to say yes, because I knew every choice was shaping my future. You cannot live like everyone else and expect to achieve more than everyone else. Sacrifice is the price of greatness, and it never goes away. The question is, are you willing to keep paying it? One of the biggest turning points in my life was realizing that pain can be your ally. Most people run from pain. They avoid it, they numb it, they fear it. But pain is not your enemy. Pain is a guide. Pain shows you where growth is happening. Pain shows you that you are pushing beyond your limits. Pain shows you that you are alive and that you are changing. Every workout that left me exhausted, every rejection that stung, every moment of failure that hurt, those were the moments that built me. If you learn to embrace pain instead of running from it, you unlock a power that most people will never know. And let me tell you something important. You will not always have cheerleaders. You will not always have people supporting you, clapping for you, encouraging you. Sometimes you will feel invisible. Sometimes you will feel like no one cares, like no one sees the effort you are putting in. But those are the moments that test your true motivation. If you can keep going without recognition, if you can push forward without applause, then you are unstoppable. Because when your drive comes from within, when your vision burns so strong inside of you that you don't need anyone else to validate it, then no force on earth can stop you. And as you build, as you grow, as you transform, you must never forget humility. Humility is not weakness, it is strength under control. Humility means remembering where you came from, even as you rise. It means respecting the journey, respecting the struggle, and respecting the people who are fighting their own battles. Humility keeps you learning, keeps you open, keeps you hungry. The moment you think you know it all, the moment you think you are above learning, that is the moment you stop growing. Humility keeps you grounded so that success doesn't destroy you. Another key to changing your trajectory is mastering your focus. In a world filled with distractions, focus is your superpower. Everywhere you look, something is fighting for your attention. Social media, entertainment, noise, opinions. But if you spread your energy across too many things, you will never achieve mastery. I learned to focus on what mattered most, to cut out the noise, to give my energy fully to the vision I wanted to achieve. Focus is what turns effort into results. Without focus, your potential leaks away. With focus, your potential becomes unstoppable. And as you move forward, you must learn to forgive. Forgive the people who doubted you. Forgive the ones who hurt you. Forgive even yourself for the mistakes you've made. Forgiveness is not about weakness. It is about freeing yourself. If you carry resentment, bitterness, or regret, it weighs you down like chains. Forgiveness cuts those chains and allows you to run faster toward your destiny. Don't let anger steal your energy. Don't let resentment poison your mind. Use that energy for building, for growing, for creating. The final truth I want to share is this. Greatness is not a destination. It is a journey that never ends. Every time you reach a new level, there is another level waiting. Every time you conquer one mountain, there is another peak ahead. The beauty of life is that the journey never stops. The moment you stop growing, you start dying. So you must embrace the process, the constant evolution, the never-ending climb. Because the real reward is not the trophy, not the applause, not even the success. It is the person you become along the way. When you understand that greatness is not a destination but a journey, you start to see every day as a chance to climb higher. Each morning becomes an opportunity, not a burden. You stop waiting for some perfect moment in the future and realize that today is the battlefield where your future is decided. The choices you make today, the effort you put in today, the discipline you practice today, all of it compounds. People underestimate the power of small daily actions. They think transformation only comes from giant leaps. But the truth is, it comes from the small steps that never stop. Consistency turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. And when you embrace this truth, you realize that the trajectory of your life is in your control every single day. I learned that mastery comes from obsession. You cannot casually pursue greatness. You cannot half commit and expect full results. Obsession means you think about your goal constantly. You work on it relentlessly. You sacrifice for it willingly. While others are distracted, you stay locked in. While others are resting, you keep moving. Obsession transforms effort into excellence. Without obsession, you will always fall back into mediocrity. Because mediocrity requires no effort. It only requires distraction. But obsession, Obsession forces you to evolve into someone capable of achieving what once seemed impossible. And obsession must be paired with patience. People often get discouraged when results don't come quickly. They start strong, but when progress is slow, they quit. But progress is always slow at first. In the beginning, the results are invisible, hidden under the surface. You are planting seeds, but seeds take time to grow. If you stop watering them too early, you will never see the harvest. I told myself again and again, be patient, keep pushing, trust the process. Patience is not passive, it is active persistence in the face of delay. It is the belief that every ounce of effort matters, even when you cannot see the results yet. One thing I realized as my journey continued was that visualization is a powerful weapon. Before I stepped into the arena, before I chased a new goal, I had already lived it in my mind 1,000 times. I could see it, feel it, taste it. I saw myself overcoming obstacles. I saw myself standing victorious. I saw the moment I had dreamed of long before it happened. When the day finally came, it felt familiar because I had already rehearsed it mentally. Your mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. And if you feed it powerful visions, your actions will begin to align with those visions. Visualization is not fantasy, it is preparation. But you cannot only dream, you must also execute. Too many people spend their whole lives planning, imagining, preparing, but never acting. Action is the bridge between vision and reality. You don't need to know every step before you start. You don't need to see the entire staircase. You only need to take the first step. Once you start moving, the path reveals itself. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates opportunities. The people who win in life are not the ones with the best ideas. They are the ones who act on their ideas. I also discovered that discipline is freedom. At first, discipline feels restrictive, like rules and chains. But over time, you realize that discipline liberates you. Discipline frees you from regret. It frees you from inconsistency. It frees you from the weakness of relying on motivation. Discipline creates structure, and within that structure, you build freedom. When you are disciplined, you can trust yourself. You know you will follow through. That self-trust is one of the most powerful forces in the world, because when you trust yourself, you no longer hesitate. You execute with confidence. And let me tell you this, excuses are poison. They sound harmless at first. They sound logical, even reasonable. I'm too tired. I don't have enough time. I'll start tomorrow. But excuses steal your potential piece by piece. Every time you give in to an excuse, you weaken your resolve. You tell yourself that your limitations are stronger than your dreams. I decided to eliminate excuses from my vocabulary. I told myself, no matter how I feel, no matter what happens, I will find a way. And once I committed to that mindset, my actions became unstoppable, because excuses cannot survive in the presence of commitment. There will be people who will not understand your drive. They will call you obsessed. They will call you crazy. They will say you are sacrificing too much. But remember, they do not see what you see. They do not feel what you feel. They are judging you based on their limits, not yours. If you let their voices control you, you will shrink your vision to fit their comfort zones. I refuse to let that happen. I reminded myself, their opinions do not pay my dues. Their doubts do not shape my destiny. You must learn to tune out the noise and trust your inner compass. And as you continue, you must master adaptation. Life will not always go according to your plan. Obstacles will appear, circumstances will shift, challenges will come unexpectedly. The ability to adapt, to adjust your approach without abandoning your vision is critical. I faced many times when my original plan failed. But instead of quitting, I asked myself, what is another way? How can I use this setback as fuel? Flexibility combined with persistence is unstoppable. You bend, but you never break. You adapt, but you never give up. That is how you keep moving forward no matter what life throws at you. Another lesson I learned was the importance of energy management. Success is not just about how hard you work, it's about how effectively you use your energy. If you waste your energy on negativity, on gossip, on doubt, on distractions, you will have nothing left for your vision. But if you guard your energy, if you channel it into your goals, your growth, your discipline, then every ounce of effort counts. Energy is like currency. Spend it wisely, because once it's gone, you can't get it back. I chose to spend mine on building the life I wanted, not on feeding the doubts of others. And let's talk about courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act in spite of fear. I felt fear many times. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough. But I refused to let fear control me. Courage is built one act at a time. Every time you face fear and act anyway, your courage grows stronger. Eventually, fear becomes smaller and your courage becomes the dominant force in your life. Fear will always be there, but courage teaches you to move forward regardless. As your trajectory rises, you will face new levels of challenge. And with each level, you must level up yourself. You cannot rely on the old version of you to win new battles. Growth is continuous. Every level of success requires a higher level of you. That is why personal development never stops. You must constantly sharpen your mind, strengthen your body, and expand your spirit. The moment you stop growing, life will pass you by. The journey demands constant evolution. And finally, you must embrace responsibility for your influence. As you grow, people will watch you. They will look at your example. Whether you realize it or not, your actions will inspire or discourage others. That is why you must walk with integrity. You cannot demand from others what you are not willing to demand from yourself. Leadership is not about titles. It is about example. And when you live your life as proof of what is possible, you give permission for others to rise as well. That is the true power of changing your trajectory. It is not only about your success, your growth, your transformation. It is about becoming a living symbol of possibility for everyone who sees you. It is about showing the world that no matter where you start, no matter how many obstacles you face, no matter how impossible it seems, change is possible. And once you embody that truth, you not only change your own trajectory, you ignite the fire that helps others change theirs.